I've heard you talk before about this concept of resistance. So when you talk about continuous growth throughout life versus a stance of being resistance, I wonder if you
Yeah.
could illustrate that a little bit. A lot of us as parents, maybe it's not that we're unwilling to grow, but look, Dr. Stacy, I'm just too busy to grow right now. I'm trying to parent, I'm trying to put food on the table, keep
Yeah.
a roof over our heads. I don't have time for self-reflection and, looking at my inner plant and trying to prune and come on now. I'm a grown up. I got responsive. So I feel sometimes there's a certain resistance, like I don't have time for that. I'm
Mm.
mature enough. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, you know what? Just not for everybody. Like straight out. Like some people just like, no, no, thank you. What I would say is based on what my understanding is that life will give you the opportunity. Trust me. Like
Mm,
that's just the way life works.
mm.
And we tend to push, push, push. Like this is all we're
Yes.
mostly what we are taught. You need
Yes.
to push through,
Grind.
do it, hustle, hustle, hustle,
Work.
right? To get
Yeah.
what you want.
Yes.
And that can serve people. Absolutely, it can. But there's a different kind of energy, right? That I think is more effective and efficient that in times of struggle is if we actually listen, right? Like we can be pushing in a certain direction in the same way.
Right.
And it might get us somewhere, but the process is horrible
Yes.
and we expend a ton of energy and it's not as effective sometimes as stopping and get a lay of the land, just understanding. And this is when we can actually make a shift. We can make a shift in those moments and we do make a shift in those moments. So it's the idea of a friend of mine has this phrase, less hustle and more flow.
Mm,
Okay, so we're getting into the flow and just say,
mm.
okay, life, like what? Let me listen here. What is it that you're bringing to my awareness? Let
Wow.
me, and because if we're constantly pushing, we get tired,
That's
right?
true.
And life will give us a catastrophe, and ideally, we're able to kind of ride the wave as opposed to being overwhelmed and feeling crashed, right, and ending up head over, you know, you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of what I mean is that this idea of cutting out of this resistant energy and understanding that life is for us.
Hmm.
It's not against us.
Hmm.
And that there's a pattern that's being challenged here. A pattern that is no longer serving us and that is worth looking at and
Right.
understanding.